Hey there, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Nancy and I create content all about personal growth, self-discovery, and living an authentic life. Today we're diving into something really important, the false identity ego. We're going to explore what it is, how it controls your life, and most importantly, how you can break free from it. Now, let me ask you this. Have you ever felt like you're wearing a mask or living a life that doesn't truly feel like yours? You might have this nagging feeling that something is just off. Well, that's the false identity ego, and I'm going to show you exactly how to break free from it and start living as your true, authentic self. So, what exactly is the false identity ego? Okay, well, in simple terms, it's the persona you've built based on external influences like your fears, insecurities, societal expectations, and the roles you think you should play in life. This identity isn't who you truly are, it's who you think you need to be in order to fit in, feel safe, or be accepted by others. I'll give you an example. Let's say you're someone who identifies heavily with your job, title, or social status. Maybe you feel that your worth is directly tied to those external labels, like being a successful entrepreneur or a top performer. The thing is, that's not who you really are. That's the false identity ego at play, and it can leave you feeling empty and disconnected from your true self. Now let's talk about how this false identity ego actually controls your life. First off, it distorts your self-image. You start seeking validation from others, trying to meet external expectations, and living up to standards that were never even your own. This makes it nearly impossible to feel truly fulfilled because you're always chasing something outside of yourself. Let's say you're constantly comparing yourself to others. Maybe you scroll through social media and think, why don't I have what they have? This is the ego trying to convince you that you're not enough unless you have the same success or life circumstances as someone else. It creates this disconnect between who you are and who you think you need to be. The false identity ego can also hurt your relationships. When you're living based on external expectations, you're not showing up as your true self, which can make it harder to build deep, authentic connections. Instead, you might find yourself attracting relationships based on superficial things like status, appearance, or achievements. Nothing that truly nurtures you as a person. Okay, so you're probably asking, how do I know that I'm living the false identity? So how do you know if you're living from the false identity ego? Well, here are a few signs to look out for, okay? You're constantly comparing yourself to others. You seek approval or validation from people outside of yourself. You feel anxious or unworthy without external achievements or titles. If any of those sound familiar, don't worry, you're not alone. These are all signs that the false identity ego is influencing your life. Now, take a moment to reflect. What parts of your life feel like they're being driven by outside expectations and not your true self? Think about it. And leave a comment below. I'd love to hear what comes to mind. Okay, so here I'm going to give you 5 steps on how to break free from the false identity ego. And step number 1, you want to cultivate self-awareness. So the first step in breaking free from the false identity ego is to cultivate self-awareness, which means taking the time to really reflect on your thoughts, behaviors, and emotions. Start asking yourself, am I doing this because it's truly aligned with my values? or because I'm trying to fit into someone else's mold. The more aware you become, the easier it will be to identify when your ego is at play. Step 2. The next step is to let go of the need for external validation. This one is huge because when you stop seeking approval from others, you free yourself from the ego's control. Focus on doing things that make you feel fulfilled, whether it's pursuing a hobby, helping others, or working towards goals that matter to you. When you shift your focus to your own internal compass, you'll start feeling more grounded and confident in who you are. Step 3. Start connecting with your true self. This might sound a bit woo-hoo, but trust me, it works. Take some time each day to meditate, journal, or spend time in silence. This helps you tune into your inner voice, the part of you that isn't influenced by external expectations. The more you listen, the clearer your true identity becomes. Step 4. Reframing your identity means taking a step back and asking yourself, who am I without all the labels, titles, and judgments? What do I truly value? Try to separate who you are from what you do. You are more than your job title. You are more than your social status. And you are so much more than your achievements. You are inherently valuable just because you exist. Okay? So step 5, last step here. Embrace vulnerability and authenticity. The false identity ego thrives on perfection and fear. But your true self is about embracing imperfections and being real. It's okay to not have it all figured out. In fact, that's where the magic happens. The more you show up as your true self, the more authentic connections and opportunities will come your way. Okay? So, breaking free from the false identity ego is liberating when you let go of that external persona. You shed fear, insecurity, and limitation. You begin to see that the only limits are the ones you place on yourself. It's like lifting a heavy weight off your shoulders. You no longer feel tied to the lies that society and your ego have told you about who you should be. Living authentically is where true happiness lies. When you align with your true self, there's no need to prove anything to anyone. You are enough as you are, and that's a powerful feeling. You'll start attracting relationships, opportunities, and experiences that resonate with your true self. So remember, living authentically isn't a one-time thing. It's an ongoing practice. Keep checking in with yourself on a regular basis. Keep questioning the beliefs and identities that you've been holding on to. Are they serving you? Are they holding you back from becoming who you were always meant to be? The more you shed the false identity, the more you step into the real you, the one who is free, fulfilled, and truly powerful. You've got this, okay? So to sum it up, the false identity ego is all about the persona we create based on fear and external validation. But when we become aware of it and start living authentically, we can break free and step into the truth of who we really are. I'd love to hear from you. What parts of your life feel like they're influenced by external expectations, okay? Drop a comment below and let's talk about it. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more personal growth and self-awareness content. And hit that notification bell so you'll never miss an update. Remember, you are not your ego, And you're certainly not the false identity. You are something far greater. Step into your authentic self today. Start living the life you were always meant to lead.